Hello and welcome to another video by GMLS. My name's Tom Lawless. I don't know if you've noticed, but over the past sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there's been an increasing number of animal deaths en masse, as it were. I first really started paying attention to this around about sort of 2, 3 years ago when birds started falling out of the sky. I think it was in Bieber in America, and it did it one New Year's Eve, and then bizarrely the next New Year's Eve it did exactly the same thing, and they said it was to do with fireworks and stuff like that, but I'm not totally convinced my side. But so I thought I'd just as I've been looking at this over the last sort of 2 years, and it's been something that's very, very interesting, and it's a lot more frequent now than what people actually are hearing of. So we're over here at sot.net. I find this website a very good collection point where they collect information from various places across the globe and various news agencies, even from the internet and stuff like that. And so you get a wide view. Look, here we go. Pod of over 13 dolphins die after being trapped by ice in Cape Ray in Newfoundland. But it's very good. It gives you very good different sections. My personal favourites are Earth Changes, Secret History, and High Strangeness, and Science of Spirit. But take a look at them. They tend to make these mass die-offs available very quickly on their website. So it's a pretty good protocol. So just for those people who haven't been, haven't had this on their radar, as it were. Here's an article from the 12th of March about mass deaths, ducks dying in New York State due to cold winter. Now, I've included everything in what you were going to see in an animation a little bit later on of all types of animal deaths, and this could be related to pollution, weather, but there's also certain deaths, and for quite some time now, of certain species at certain moments that defies a lot of the normal thinking. So at the moment there's something a little bit bizarre in there. I'm definitely in there. So here we are. It's just this is one on the 12th of March. Here's a mass death bird deaths in New South Wales. In here, I think they go into how they're not really quite sure as an Environment Protection Authority said that they are waiting for final test results to confirm the cause of deaths. So, and it always seems to be a little bit like that. Here we go. It's another one. Mystery surrounds massive die-off of oysters and scallops off BC coast. It's a remote area. The water is clean. We haven't had any environmental concerns, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if BC's British Columbia. Is that over on the west coast? If it is, it could have something to do with Fukushima, of course. Here's another one. This is to do with the storms that we've been having over in Europe. A lot of seabirds have died off, all the way from Spain going up through the UK, etc. And that was quite horrific. Here's another one. One of those sort of bizarre ones is a mass frog die-off in Curragh in Ireland, or Curragh, I just hope I pronounced that rightly. They say there's between 250 and 300 dead or dying frogs, and there's a similar sort of thing that's been going on with the starfish or the sunfish over on the west coast of Alaska and everything like that. But I got a funny feeling that's to do with Fukushima. Again, 800 turtles found dead on Nallore Beach in India. So it's all very diverse. There's lots of different places. Hundreds of fish die in Mallorca, in one of the Azores, in one of the islands off of Spain. Flock of dead starlings found in Bolton in England with very loud bang heard overhead beforehand. So there is loads of these sort of things going on, and what I've done is I've made an animation to sort of express what and how these deaths are going on. Well, two other things before I show the animation. I've actually taken the information off of shockable.org, social network driven news and disaster monitor, and it gives a very comprehensive list of animal deaths or animal die-offs. I think it's probably better than deaths, really, to say that. Animal die-offs in mass, for example, in Holland, 40,000 birds killed due to an outbreak of avian flu on the 4th of March. 6.5 million chickens, avian flu. So there's a lot of avian flu going about. Here's another one, 64,000, but there's also this that I showed you earlier on, the hundreds of frogs dead in and around the lake. A lot of mass die-offs for the bees as well. We're getting a lot of that in the Pyrenees at the moment, where we are. So this is where I've taken the information from. And this is the map that I've placed them upon. So you will see this animation, but you must remember that I am a healer and a dowser. I am not a computer animation expert. I do my best. I enjoy what I do, which is probably the main thing. But you'll have to understand that it's probably not the most modern expression of animation that you'll see. I hope to have this better in the future. We'll arrange it better in the future, but I will be continuing to update this map and update this video over the coming year, just to follow the things through and see what comes out of it. So I would say sit back and relax and enjoy the animation, but you know, sit back and concentrate more than anything else, I think. As you can see here, this is only the first 2.5 months, really. It only goes up to the 13th of March of this year. There is a considerable amount of mass die-offs on these animals across the globe. And they, as I said earlier on, they come from all different areas. It's not just pollution, it's not just the cold and the weather, but it is also sometimes quite mysterious die-offs. So you can see here, if I actually zoom in here on this map, I think we can all see quite clearly that there are actually two sort of zones or waves that go through the world. I understand that we're going to get more reports in, say, like slightly more developed areas, such as we got in Europe, in the Americas, and in Asia. But that might explain a lack of reports in, say, like Africa, or up in Siberia, or even into Canada. Canada doesn't seem to be really that much affected by it, but I'm sure I'm going to get loads of Canadians going to tell me completely different, and I would love to hear from you, because as I said, I want to try and make this a comprehensive thing. I'm going to be looking into individual species, times, etc. over the given year coming, and it would be good to obviously have all as much as help as possible. I'm hopefully going to get better at these maps things, but just getting back to that, let's just I'd like to just show you the dots without without any map on it whatsoever, just so you can appreciate that. we can definitely see now the shaping of the swarming of animal die-offs, and even in the north of Brazil that doesn't show up anything there. We've definitely got a thing going on in Europe, and then as it runs across Eastern Europe and across Asia and stuff like that into Asia, there's a definite gap there. But it is the clustering of these sections that we can see here. I personally will find quite interesting in time to see whether there is some sort of vague pattern going on. And to see the pattern, we should really start putting in the GMLS system, start slapping some lines onto this map to put it all into perspective. So here we go, we have the dots back on the map. Let's just stick the red line on here first, just to understand the connection that we have in going up to South America and into North America. Now these two lines, the red and the blue line, have been the most two dominant lines in the Earth's previous 200,000 years history, to be honest. And you know, if anyone's been watching any of my other videos, I've been talking about how there's two other lines that sort of rivaling these two partners here, which you can see that they reflect each other, you know, one pushing the other along, as it were, permanently in a fashion. But we can see that the blue line has definitely got the groupings going up through South Asia and Australia, and also in New Zealand. It spreads out as it hits into the yellow, to the red line, sorry, and then repicks up again in Europe, spattering off in Europe, and then comes down into and makes the collection down into South America. But to fully understand this, we're probably going to have to start sticking some more lines on here. So let's stick the yellow one on there, and the light blue line, which are standing in opposite to our two friends above. They're a little bit more squashed together, but if we can look at this carefully, there's definitely a cluster that's going up in the northeast of America on the yellow and the blue line, and yellow and light blue line, and in Southeast Asia, where we have a lot of clusters that's being pulled between the yellow, the blue and the red line, starts giving us some sort of sense of how this energy sort of moves around this planet, but also because of its connection to the sun, to space and etc. There is times when our shields go a little bit down in different ways, a bit like the northern lights or the southern lights. That's the shields of the Earth protecting itself from the solar wind, and sometimes we got little pockets appearing, especially at this moment. And to fully understand this, I will be producing a video on the pole shift theory behind the geomagnetic line system. But just to sort of show you that I think the yellow and the light blue dashed lines are actually starting to take more and more importance. And you can also see this in Central Europe, where the energy is being pulled away down by the dashed blue line down through Central Europe. And also it's been a bit sort of coerced by India, sort of battered around the red line in India. If we just stick on the full lines, all 6 of them, to get a complete and utter view, we will actually start picking up the other batches that cross over in South Africa, and also pull out along the east coast of Australia. The pink line starts to come into a little bit of a play, certainly down in South America, and a little bit over in sort of Japan area, in the northern part of that section there, where it's caught between the light, the yellow, the light pink, and the red and the blue lines. And that's where the most damage is really going on at the moment. As I say, I've only got these reports from shockable.org, and I'll put a link down below so you can also follow it up. They actually update it regularly as well. Now this is just a crossover section here. If we go back to the Malaysian flight that went out, and anybody who's seen my video on that, we can start to understand these sort of clustering of lines and stuff like that, and positionings of them, and the powers that they play in the game. The yellow line being the neutral line that's mainly on the oceans, really. The red line being the fiery vertical line, the blue line being the sort of placid, sort of plain line. And you get the neutral line on the solid side, which is the green line. And the pink line tends to be the placid side or plain side of the dashed lines of the southern hemispheres. You know, there's a lot of coincidences that do go on with this map, and I will be doing more and more of these videos, and I'm sure it's going to become clearer and clearer what is actually happening on this planet once we start getting in our heads around the whole idea of the rhythm of the thing. I hope this helps you to understand what's going on with the GMLS. It will be updated regularly. If you have anything you want to contribute to the map, it's not a problem. It'd be very good to hear from you. If there's other dots that I need to start sticking on there, I'd like to look through in species and time and etc. So if you can give me that sort of information as well, that'd be absolutely appreciated. The next section of videos coming up will be earthquake analysis and how to look on them through lines and going back through past data. There will also be pole shift according to GMLS. So in the meantime, here's the animation to finish, and don't be scared about getting it wrong, just be scared about not getting involved. Enjoy yourselves.